Welcome. Okay, so let's begin by taking a look at what our intention is. So for a moment, just forget everything that you think you know, everything that you think you've learned, and everything that you think you should and should not. Forget everything that you think that you've understood and everything that you think that you've done and achieved and experienced. And let's really be here new and fresh and explore this in a truly open, fresh way. So we're looking at what is my intention. And really look sincerely. Don't just settle for an answer. Because if you settle for an answer, then what are you settling for? You're settling for something that's already known, something that you've learned, something from the past, some past experience, something that you think that is true or right or accurate. But the invitation is to look now. So just look. And then you see what's here. So maybe you like what you see, maybe you don't like what you see. But it doesn't matter. Can you imagine that it doesn't matter? That it doesn't matter whether you like it or it doesn't, or you don't like it. Wouldn't that be a relief? So just to look and see what is my intention? What am I doing here? Why am I here? What am I hoping for? What is my motivation? And it's such a simple thing. If you're really looking, notice what you see. It's all laid out before you, isn't it? You notice how the way in which you approach this, it has to be familiar to you because it's all shown to you. Everything that's been running, all of it, everything that you've called yourself, everything that you've tried to defend, protect, build up, fight for, fight against, get more of or get rid of, all of that. It's all presented to you with just such a simple inquiry. Why am I here? What am I doing? What's my intention? So again, the answers may come, the answer might be anything to find freedom, for inner peace, because it's the right thing, because I'm a good person, because I'm not a good person and I want to be a good person, or whatever the so many possibilities, because I'm broken and I need to be fixed, because I'm anything and anything, you see. But notice that if you don't latch on to any of those, if you don't grab onto any of them, if you don't settle for any of them, then notice what's revealed next. Now, so we can see how it is that we stop short time and time again habitually, because we settle for something, because some answer is presented. And you notice if you're willing to settle for this answer, well, you'll settle for any answer, won't you? Which is what's been going on, you see, because we settle for the answers, but the answer gives a false sense of security. Oh, now I know who I am. Now I know why I'm here. Now I know what I'm doing. Okay, now I'm ready. Now I can go. Now I'm got that checked off my list of my to-do list. On to the next one. And then what happens is life just becomes like this long list of things. And actually, no, none of us wants a long list of things. This is totally unsatisfying, just to have a list of things. So when we look right now, why am I here? What is my intention? We see this list of ideas and beliefs, limitations, fears, anxieties, ambitions, etc. This long list that if we allow it, it just unfolds, it reveals itself so we can see it for what it is. So you can see all of your strategies, everything that comes up. Just watch, you have to watch to look at your own experience, and you see, there's oh, I think I've got it. Oh yeah, I think I understand. Oh, yes, how clever I am. I understand now. Or there's I don't think I understand. This is weird. That's another strategy. Or there's uh, I'm angry. I'm angry that I don't understand. I'm angry that he's not just speaking plainly. Why doesn't he just tell me the answer? Why is he wasting my time? So many possible strategies, or boredom. What do I do now? Oh, boredom. That's a good one. Wonder if I have any new email. Wonder if any new interesting things came across Facebook. Let me go check. It's been 2 minutes. It's a long time. So you see all the strategies: zoning out, thinking about what happened earlier today, thinking about what's going to happen later today, thinking about whatever, thinking about stuff, a lot of thinking. Oh, or here's a good one: trying to ignore, deny, just sort of trying to bear it, get through, power through, endure. So then, of course, we start wondering, well, wait a second now. What? I have all these strategies, and you're telling me, well, I'm not saying it yet, but I'm suggesting, hinting at that none of these strategies will satisfy. None of these strategies will give us what we really want. Now I've said it. None of the strategies will give us what we really want. Haven't you noticed? None of these strategies, none of them, because if you win, doesn't really count for much, does it? If you lose, then you're upset. If you lose, then, if somebody else is right and you're wrong, or if you didn't get what you wanted, or if life's not working out the way that you think it should, or if you're not liking your experience or whatever, then you say, this is no good. I'm losing. But I'll just see if I can come up with a better strategy. But if you win, you kind of come up empty-handed, don't you? It's just empty and hollow. I'm right. Good for you. And here's a surprise, even I feel great. Even I feel great turns out to be kind of hollow. It's novel, so it takes a little while for it to wear off, but after a while, running around, skipping, jumping, whistling, shouting out to the world, I feel great, I feel fantastic. Then after a while, you start having to wonder, now what? Now what? Now that I'm victorious, now what? Oh. So all of these strategies, which we can see if we just are willing not to accept any of them as an answer, not to reject them, not to deny them, but just to be open and see them, allow them to pass through. They come, they go. So you just notice in the past 15 minutes, how much has come and gone, how many different thoughts, different states, different sensations, different perceptions, different ideas, up and down, up and down, up and down. Oh, I like this. Oh, I don't like this. I get it. Oh, I don't get it. Oh, this is really interesting. Oh, God, what am I going to do now? I'm bored. It's just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. No steadiness. Of course, then you think, oh, well, then the answer must be steadiness. Another strategy. If only I could get steadiness, then everything would be great. So you work on trying to get steady, become very steady. You can extend that, 10 seconds. 10 seconds is 1 second is a miracle. 1 second of steadiness is a miracle. 10 seconds of steadiness, holy cow, unbelievable. A minute, wow. Now we're really onto something. So you keep extending it, you've attained a superpower. You learn to extend it. It's possible. These are techniques, yogic techniques and so forth. So you can learn these things. They're great. They have some benefit. But what needs to be pointed out, and this is where, if it's not pointed out or it doesn't dawn on you, then you've gone down this rabbit hole, which could last for a long, long time. Any strategy. They're all strategies, but so this strategy, I'm going to still become very still and steady. Yes, okay, great. But then after a while, same as I feel great. Okay. And then what? Now you're still and steady. 10 years of still and steady, 100 years of still and steady. And eventually then you say, and then what? So if you're really sincerely looking right now, looking at what? Looking at your own experience, just looking at what's happening. You just observe the feelings, the sensations, the thoughts, the images, the memories, the notions, the emotions, and the rest of it. You just observe it as it's happening. It's just happening. You see, it's just flowing one after another, up and down, left and right. All these strategies. I got to get it. I got to get somewhere. I got to get rid of it. I got to get more. I got to get less. I got to figure it out. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to go here. I got to go there. Constant churning, uneasiness, discomfort, frustration, discouragement, disappointment, disillusionment, on and on and on. So now notice that you actually do have this incredible power. And it's not a power that you can actually uh, exercise in the usual sense. It's not something that you can strengthen or uh, make use of in the usual way. But what you can do is you can recognize it. So the recognition is in the it's like it's here under all the clutter. So then of course that makes us think, oh, now we've got to declutter, new strategy. Well, okay, but you see, all the strategies are useful only to the extent that they point to what it is that's this power that I'm talking about. Once we recognize what's being pointed to, once there's a glimpse, we can drop the strategies. So the strategies are fine: declutter, steady, still, quiet, and relax. All of these are useful strategies, but only to an extent. Because if we take them too far, if we think that that's the end itself, if that's our goal, then we eventually reach that point where we say, and now what? I've been steady, still, quiet, relaxed, fill in the blank for so long, and now what? So as long as our focus is on the strategy, then we're not noticing what's being pointed to. So the strategies, you follow the strategy just enough, like the finger pointing to the moon. Okay, you just have to follow it enough to become aware of where it's pointing to. Then you notice what it's pointing to. So yes, relax, become quiet, still, steady, let go. But as a pointer, and notice this power that's here that you can't get more of. You can't, every time you try to do something to get it, to reach it, to hold it, to do something with it, to grasp it, it seems to slip away. You can't quite find it. So again, we have to come back to these pointers. So again, relax, become quiet, still. Just see. Notice that you are seeing, and notice that this seeing is not the seeing of the mind. It's not the activity of the mind that's labeling, saying this, not that, here, not there. It's wide open. So this is the power that I'm speaking of. It's this power of awareness. So notice that this awareness, this power, is always here. It's like the foundation. So all of these other things come and go. The ambition, the discouragement, the frustration, the depression, the excitement, the fatigue, all of it, it comes and goes. So it's fine. We don't need to try to We don't need to go to war with any of that. Instead, we can just start to notice, it's like, once we catch this glimpse, it just becomes really curious. It's, wow, here is this power that I had never noticed. I was constantly at war, battling with all these things, trying to get something, get somewhere, achieve something, fix something, protect something, constant effort and strain. And here, actually, I catch a glimpse. So you have to actually notice it. This is this wide open okayness. And this wide open okayness, it effortlessly allows all of these strategies. So, very important point is that these, you notice that even this noticing becomes a strategy. Okay, you just have to see, there's still this thing in the back there that's saying, okay, well, how do I make use of it? How am I gonna get what it is that I think I need with this? How am I gonna protect myself with this? How am I gonna get the power that I think I need? How am I going to get whatever I think I need with this? So we just have to see that. And then notice that that too is perfectly allowed in this vast open awareness. So you can notice all the sensations. So sometimes the sensations can be very intense. These like squeezing sensations, crushing sensations, sensations like, I'm talking about subtle sensations. Maybe they could be not so subtle as well, but often these are sort of subtle, can't quite put our finger on it, but it's like as if everything is going wrong and we give it all these labels, anxiety, depression, this, that, and the other, but it's just like the sensation of everything's being squeezed or crushed or somehow torn, ripped. We all experience it maybe slightly differently, but these sensations can sometimes be very intense, and the temptation is to kind of get to a safe distance. Of course, there is no safe distance, but that's the temptation. So when we do that, we betray ourselves. It's okay. It happens. The betrayal is happening also in this wide open awareness. So it's okay. But we can just see it. So we can see this temptation to avoid, to get to a distance, to all various strategies where, we're back, all of a sudden we find ourselves back with all of our strategies. So again, here we want to be very honest. So this is where telling the truth is so valuable. So we have to look and see right now all of these various strategies that I'm so tempted to make use of. Will they actually provide me with the real satisfaction? You have to look and see for yourself. So, it's helpful. It's helpful to have some experience, because the experience, by experience, I just mean experience in life. Because when we have enough experience in life, then we can start to see, okay, all these strategies don't really work out. If you don't have enough experience, then you don't know that. If you don't have enough life experience, then you just keep thinking, yeah, it might work. Might work. If I get enough money, it might work. I might be totally fine then. If I can just get enough money. Or if I can just convince everybody to love me, that might work. Or if I can just find the magic, elixir, the magic thing, so that I can feel great all the time in my body, yeah, that might work. So as long as we keep believing these things, that they might work, we're likely to continue to be seduced. But everybody here, in case you have doubt, so you might have doubt, you might say, oh no, that sounds terrible. Maybe I don't have enough experience. No, the good news is you have enough experience. I'm just pointing it out that, you've got it. There may be those who don't have enough experience, but anybody who's here has enough experience for sure. So, but you want to use that intelligently. So you need to just, this is the truth telling. The truth telling is to look at your experience. So all of our experiences is always there. This is the conditioning. The conditioning is the context in which we're perceiving. So it colors and shapes everything. And when it's unconscious, you see what happens is just more of the same. Because that conditioning gives shape to this perception, and we say, oh yeah, this is reality. What I perceive is reality. And then, we go about living out that delusion. So that's unconscious, but when it's conscious, when we use it intelligently, then we're just aware of it. So we see, oh yes, here's the conditioning, here's the belief, here's all my strategies, and here's what I'm thinking that these strategies are going to give me. So you have to be aware, you just have to see it and be intelligent about it. And this is how you tell the truth. You see, oh yes, I'm employing this strategy right now, and you just observe what the strategies are. Okay, I'm trying to protect myself. I'm hiding. I'm lying. I'm projecting. I'm defending. I'm waiting. See, these are all strategies. So many strategies. We could probably simplify it into just some essential strategies. I haven't done that work to try and distill it to the essential strategies, but it doesn't. You just have to see the strategies, okay? So you see, as they're coming up, you see the strategies by being aware now, consciously aware, just observing without taking a position in this whole thing. You can just start to see in a new way, and you can start to see, okay, here are the strategies as they're playing out. It's like one after another. What about this? What about this? Let's try this strategy, try this strategy. And you just see each of them as they surface now. Okay, so remember, this is always an invitation to look now for yourself. It's of no use at all if you're not looking for yourself now. So it's always, always, always an invitation to look now. If you look now, you receive the invitation, you receive all of the benefits of the invitation. If you don't look now, you're postponing. So just then the invitation is look and see now that that's what's happening, is that there's a strategy of postponement. So this is it's such good news, because it's like an even, what do we call, level playing field, where whoever you are, you might think that you're a very intelligent person. You might think that you're a very stupid person. You might think you're a very capable person. You might think you're a very incapable person. You might think anything. It doesn't matter. Because wherever you are right now, whoever you are, whatever your experience, whatever strategies are arising, you have this power now just simply to be aware of the strategy. And that's the truth. So you see the strategy, how do you see it? You feel it, you observe it. You just don't get hung up on the words. You just notice in your own experience. You can do it with your eyes closed. You can do it with your eyes open. You can be sitting. You can be walking. You can be lying down. Your mind can be racing. Your mind can be very still. Anything is possible. Whatever the conditions or circumstances right now, you can observe the strategies. And as you see the strategies, you have to see, using your intelligence, this strategy won't give me what it promises. Now, how can we know that? Again, you're using now your conditioning intelligently. If it's unconscious, it just continues to create more of the same. But if you observe it consciously, it's already here. You just have to see it and tell the truth. So you see, oh yes, here is this. See, oh, how do I describe this? Okay. So I'll give an example. So I noticed in myself this kind of strategy of a kind of squeezing, protecting, armoring. And that squeezing, armoring strategy, the promise is there. If I just observe it, I just see it. It just says, life's not safe, but if I can just hold on, I'll be okay. So there, all I have to do is just see, well, when will I be okay? I mean, when's that going to happen? Well, obviously, sometime in the future. Okay, great. See, if I accept that answer, then I'm right back into the, I'm dreaming again, unconscious. Oh, okay. In the future, great. Well, we'll just wait until the future. So now it's a waiting strategy. But when do I need it? When do I need okayness? Do I need it in the future? No, it does me no good in the future. So any strategy that promises something in the future, it's a lie. Sorry. I mean, in practical, worldly terms, of course, there's some. Now, there are nuances here because in worldly terms, of course, there are strategies in which waiting seems to have some benefits, but we have to see that those benefits are superficial. Those benefits are they pale in comparison to what we actually need. So they can coexist. You know, we can invest for future dividends in the worldly sense. But at the same time, we have to inwardly see the falseness of that strategy when it comes to what it is that we really want, because what we really want has to be experienced now. It has to be known now. It can't ever be something in the future. So we just have to see that about the strategies, whatever the strategy is inwardly that's arising. And you see, actually, I think it just always comes down to that. If you really observe, you'll see that all the strategies are always about, they always promise future fulfillment, future okayness. And then we can look and see, well, what is this strategy? Is this strategy actually, so it's promising me okayness in the future. What is my sense of the strategy itself. So this, what is the effect of the strategy? The strategy is this armoring, protecting. Then it's actually producing presently the opposite of what it's promising in the future. So it's a double lie, but a double lie doesn't make it a truth. It's not like that. So as we're just observing these strategies, we can tell the truth about them and see none of them can actually give me what they promise, and what they produce is actually the opposite of what I desire. So only a fool would continue to cling to them and choose them. So I won't do it anymore. Well, now we've got another strategy. I won't do it anymore. Good luck with that. But I won't do it now. So right now, just notice that this power is here, this power of awareness, this power of wide open and that it's allowing, that it can't do other than allow. So even if what's occurring is armoring, protecting, tension, squeezing, closing off, pain, shouting, screaming, discomfort, fatigue, frustration, discouragement, depression, and so forth, this remains wide open. It remains pure, unblemished, simply allowing all of these experiences. And so here you have the invitation, and as you accept that invitation, it's instantaneous fulfillment. So there's no deferring for future fulfillment. It's fulfilled now, and the fulfillment is actually in the surrender. It's in the surrender of everything. So everything that arises, just surrender it, just allow it to come and go as it does. So it's not that you're actually causing anything to come and go. It's rather just that you're in this surrender. There's an it's a an alignment and a recognition of this wide openness that's already the case. See, whatever comes, big, small, pleasant, unpleasant, it's coming and going in this. So again, just notice if a strategy arises, says, okay, now I think I got it. Now I can use this in order to succeed. I'll remember this for when I'm having a problem. Oh, this is great. This is a great technique. I'll use this. Because then you see what happens. Then you're postponing again. You're saying, it's too much. It's uncomfortable. I don't think I want this. sounds nice, so I'll wait until later. But if you notice what's actually happening, you'll see that what's here is something that you're grasping, rejecting something. And so you're giving your allegiance to that instead of to this. And as soon as I grasp at that, I'm right back in the same trap as before. Then I say, this is what gives rise. So when somebody has this glimpse in this way, you've had authentic glimpses, then what comes out of this is people say, I get it, but it just doesn't seem to work. Or I understand it. Why am I still suffering? Or, variations on that theme. I understand it intellectually, but. And so the real freedom, the real peace that we're actually longing for is only here now. It's never going to be found in the future. So again, we have to come back to telling the truth and see, I'm betraying myself because I'm afraid. Because I'm afraid to really tell the truth all the way. So I cling to these things. It's like security blankets. Cling to them. And it's so bizarre what they can take so many different shapes, the security blankets. They can be in the shape of how great I am or how awful I am, how enlightened I am or how unenlightened I am. Can take all these different shapes and they all will serve the same purpose, which is to reject the unrejectable, which is this wide openness. And again, we might say, but why is that? Because you notice right now, just notice this wide openness. And notice that it's undefensible, has no borders. You can't get it. You can't hold it. You can't do anything with it. And it takes everything. You just notice this right now in your actual experience. You notice how whatever arises, it equally accepted, taken by this wide openness. So here in this wide openness, there's no room, so to speak, for any of these ideas of ourselves. We can't be great and we can't be terrible. We can't be anything. There's no room for any of that. So there's no room for anything that can be defended. There's no room for anything that can be glorified. And that's some great big wide openness. See, because it's like we can stand on the edge and we can kind of get a glimpse and we kind of get a feel for it a little bit. And we're like, wow, wide openness. But there's still a sense that I'm experiencing wide openness. There's still a sense that somebody is there to have the wide openness experience. And that one can waver. That one can fall back into the, ooh, that was scary. Or, oh, I lost it. How do I get it again? But the wide openness itself can't go anywhere Wide openness is simply wide openness. It's so wide open, and there's no one to be having that experience. So that's where we find ourselves when we're kind of wavering. We kind of in and out. There's an experience, and then we're out of the experience, because of course experiences come and go. So now let's inquire together collectively for a deeper discovery of this, and what the possibilities are. So if you look right now to your own experience, notice this wide openness. It's ungraspable. You might perceive it as a flow. You might perceive it as nothingness. You might perceive it as emptiness. You might perceive it as fullness. You might perceive it as energy. You might perceive it as a void. You might perceive it any which way, but it's wide open. And it actually defies all of the attempts to define it. So notice this, and notice that. We'll take a look and see if there's any actual difference between you and this wide openness. So how can you find that? We'll find out if there's a border, a boundary between you and it. So when we discover this here and now, then for a moment, we can maybe just notice that I already am this. I am this. I am this wide openness. And this wide openness that I am has no boundaries, has no enemies, has nothing to defend. It is always wide open. It is always free. It is always completely at peace. So we can notice this in our own direct experience. And now the question is, given that we can see, experience, perceive, notice this peace, this unconditional peace, this boundless peace, this peace that is here at the heart of being, that we are. Before we give rise to the next thought, before we latch on to the next objection, just for this one instant, we can notice that this unconditional peace is the truth here at the heart of being. Then what possible limitation could there be in truth for this peace? And clearly there can't be. So then there can't be any limitation on the expression of peace. So let's imagine each of us this peace expressing in our lives, in our bodies, in our minds, in our homes, in our families, in our relationships, in our communities, and in our world. And then just see where the objections are in your experience. Just notice. We're not trying to analyze them or judge them or figure them out or fix them. Just notice the objections. And whatever, maybe just one objection, the first one that first comes to mind, just allow that one and allow that to unfold so that you can see, let it unpack so that you can see the beliefs, the thoughts, the ideas, the experiences, the memories, all of everything that ties that together, that creates that limitation, that objection. And just, again, we're not here to judge or condemn or fix or analyze, but just allow it just to unfold, unpack for you in awareness. So you notice, hey, here's where in my own mind, my own heart, my own perception, I believe that there is a limitation. I believe that peace cannot express in this arena, in this place, in this way. And here's all the reasons why. Here's all of the history of it. Here's all of the memories that support it. Just allow that all to unpack and just see it. That's it. Just see it. So we're just allowing that to release as we are witness to it. We're not here to force it to go away. It can stay if it needs to stay. It's totally fine. But we're just here to see it, just to be witness. And then again, just notice this wide openness. So just notice this wide openness coexists with everything. So everything can come and go, and this wide openness is the space in which it comes and goes. So just notice this wide openness, this pure awareness that allows everything. It's boundless, and that has no limitations, no enemies, no boundaries, nothing to defend, no possibility of defending, no form. So it is pure, unconditional peace. And just notice that you are one with that is the truth at the heart of being. And then again, let's imagine true peace expressing in our minds, our bodies, our homes, our relationships, our families, our communities, and in our world. And then just see whatever objection arises to that, wherever you think, no, it couldn't be. And just be willing just to see whatever is there, just to allow that to unfold and unpack without judgment or trying to justify anything, without any pretense whatsoever. Just allow it, just see it, and have the courage to do so, because sometimes, especially when we really start to get to the heart of it, we can discover some things that we've worked really hard to avoid because we've perceived them as uncomfortable. But just have the courage to see them. Just seeing that it's uncomfortable is enough. Just seeing that you've believed it is enough. Just seeing that whatever is there, whatever you believe about it, that I can't, it's too hard, I'm just this way, it can't be any other way, I don't know how, all of these various excuses and justifications, just allow them. Don't try to fix them. Don't go to war. Just see. And then notice if perhaps this wide openness This aliveness seems perhaps a little bit more present here in this more mundane aspect of our experience, in our perceptual realm, in the realm of ourselves and our lives and our bodies and minds and relationships and in this world. To see if maybe, perhaps, without forcing anything, but just notice. Doesn't have to be, but notice if there's maybe possibly just if this unconditional peace seems a little bit more accessible, a little bit more alive, a little bit more possible here too. And if so, then that's wonderful. And if not, that's okay too. But in any case, we can notice that in this unconditional peace, where there are no boundaries and there's nothing to defend, that here, this one peace is the same peace that we all access, that we all know. So it's here that we meet. We have so many different ideas. Those ideas can remain different, but here, this peace is one. So thank you for meeting me here. And thank you for joining me, as always. And for those who are here live, we can stay on for the Q&A. So I'll just end this recording.